Hi, I don't know if you've heard, but apparently we have 9,000 plus new items in Animal Crossing New Horizons, and there are actually images of all of them online. I haven't peeked at them just because I love the idea and the element of surprise. Whenever I look at a new build, I see something new and interesting, so I'm kind of gonna keep it at that. I've sort of been just like taking a step back. At first, I thought I wanted my hands on everything, and now that I see all the content that we've been sort of thrown into, pretty much launched, I have decided that it's actually best to take it slow and take a step back. And with all that being said, that totally inspired me to make today's video, which is pretty much just how to get past the feeling of being overwhelmed in decorating, especially because it's something that I really focus on when I play Animal Crossing. I guess let's start with a theme. My theme is Hygge Farmcore. You don't need a theme, by the way. I'm just putting that out there. Hygge is pretty much this kind of way of life in Danish culture in which you just enjoy the little things, you know, you indulge in things like sweets and having a good time with friends, creating this feeling of coziness and joy. I'm going to be kind of mixing that into farmcore, actually to kind of help you guys understand my theme a little bit better, and also to maybe help you guys understand how you're going to tackle your own themes. I'm going to look to Pinterest as my biggest tool because I've noticed that a lot of the items that we're getting are very much Sims-like in a way. You know, they're very realistic and something that you could totally see in real life. So I think the best way to actually get inspiration for Animal Crossing nowadays is actually just to look at real images. And then from there, you can go ahead and just look for items that replicate life from these photos into Animal Crossing. As you can see, I've made an entire Pinterest board called Milkweed Island. It is currently a secret, but after this video goes live, I'm going to go ahead and share it with everyone. So if you want to go ahead and look at some images for ideas, then definitely feel free to. Here I have a little bit of a graphic talking all about Hygge. It has all the elements of coziness with the baked goods, the lavender, the candles, fireplace, just encapsulates all the coziness, and that in itself really inspires me in terms of like actual items that we have in Animal Crossing. You got some tea, you got your baked goods, cozy socks, cocoa. It's just throwing me right into the feeling of Hygge. And then I've also got a ton of landscaping here and a lot of farmhouses out in the distance. I really wanted to do like just open grassland, have a couple of trees popped in here and there. I see some wildflowers, some fields. Actually, there is this really neat little item, which I'm pretty sure is called like wheat field or something. Perfect for doing something like this on my island. I also really like looking at the architecture of a lot of these farmhouses because it really just gives me examples for like how I might want to customize my house or my villagers' houses. Don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure we can go ahead and like change our villagers' homes on the outside as well with the Happy Home Paradise expansion. As you can see here, there are just like these very curved paths, and I really like how the cottages are all sort of stacked next to each other, so that really just gives me an idea for maybe a layout of a neighborhood, playing around with some of the cool new walls that we have going on, and I just really like how rustic that looks there. Over here, this is a really cool lake house idea. This one is actually a lighthouse, but it reminds me so much of having that big wide open lake house on Bijou, and I just really wanted to do something like this maybe on milkweed. This photo in particular is actually so beautiful and also throws me back into the idea of using wheat fields, maybe with a little bit of water escaping, so I have sort of like a nice curvy stream here. Again, more wheat fields here or some sort of crop. And looking at this photo, it also kind of makes me want to do a very long fenced area, so maybe doing the barbed wire fencing or even using that new log fencing that we got that was once from Harv's Island. It also makes me think about maybe the colors that I want to go for with farmcore, very earthy. I see a lot of yellows, greens. These houses in particular really make me think about the fact that we have so many colorful houses in Animal Crossing, and I feel like a lot of the times I get really stuck on like one certain color palette. Pairing certain flowers with each other can be a little bit daunting, but looking at this very natural garden with all these wildflowers that are very colorful gives way for inspiration. It sparks joy to me, and when I see it, it really makes me want to step out of my comfort zone of just using white, yellow flowers all the time. I also pinned this photo because it just makes me think of our villagers and all the baking and cooking that we're getting. There's even a little veggie market bag here, the jam, and all of these like different fruits, the squirrels. I just really like this image and this artwork, and it really inspires me for that Hygge farmcore element that I really want to see on my island. and found this little TikTok video that was also inspiring me to do this sort of meadow. I wanted to show you guys this like big open door with these bookshelves behind it, and I actually pinned this photo maybe like, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago or something, maybe a week ago, after the update dropped, and I saw this item in particular, this sort of castle door wall thing. I immediately thought of this and how I could totally see myself doing a build where there's a bookshelf behind it and just like a little area for you to enter into the bookshelf and have some sort of like outdoor library, but not really because it's kind of inside of a cottage, like an open door sort of inviting you to go inside it and read. Of course, can't forget the picnic inspiration. We have a lot of bread now, a lot of different kinds of foods that we can put outside. So when I saw this photo, I immediately knew that I wanted to take the inspiration for a picnic outside, and I just think it's really pretty. I love that there's very minimal colors around it, but there's like pops from the strawberries in the basket and the wine. Now this photo in particular really inspired me for how I might want to do my paths among all of the farmland. And again, I would want to use that dirt path, but like the skinny one, kind of like having a little bit of space and a gap in between of just regular grass, and then using the log fencing just alongside of that, and maybe having like little pops of flowers sort of scattered underneath that. This grass actually looks like maybe it's been worn down from having a car sort of driving through it, but we also have those really pretty little wagons that are an item now, so I could see myself like dropping a wagon maybe at the end of the path up here or in between. Okay, so now that you guys have seen all of my exteriors, I wanted to move into the interiors because it's something that I never really had as much fun decorating with, especially because I felt like we had a lot of limited indoor items that fell into my sort of aesthetic and my sort of taste. Just kind of like a first glance, there are a lot of white walls, a lot of wooden board walls, some sort of rustic looking, so from that I could definitely see myself already kind of thinking about the wallpapers that I'm going to be using. Just picking this photo out, I see this iron bed, and there's already these kind of like iron lamps that I'm pretty sure we have this as a DIY or something very similar to it. And this little poster here in the middle really gives me ideas for maybe the codes that I might want to download, or maybe some sort of poster that I might want to purchase. And just putting that over the headboard with the whiteboard wallpaper would be amazing. I love how they just like added this little text that says Scandinavian simplicity, because that's actually what my inspiration is. Just a lot of like Scandinavian feeling elements. In fact, there's actually a furniture set called Nordic Furniture or something like that, and I really want to look into maybe purchasing it or somehow getting my hands on it. And then looking at this photo, I see just like these little sort of like touches around the spaces. So I have a little candle, a stack of magazines, a plant, some shoes for to place there, a little jacket hanging off the wall, a mirror, and that in itself just gives me so many ideas for the sort of clutter or little items that I want to pop into my rooms to make them feel like actual living spaces. It's going to be even more useful when, for example, we're able to add like more walls. So looking at this photo here, there's kind of like a wall separating the two different rooms. It looks like maybe it might be one room, and then having that sort of like wall there inviting you into the other space. This one's an Ashley furniture photo, but it really inspired me with like the shelf in the background that makes me think of the ranch furniture. And then I really like this poster here. I don't know if we have something like this in Animal Crossing, but now I can think of maybe looking for something that's very similar to it and trying to replicate it in Animal Crossing, or even finding a code that's very similar. And then I also really like all these little baskets here, but if we don't have baskets like this, I can imagine myself using different sorts of brown hats and just sort of like stacking them on the walls and being very inspired by that too. I love the idea of creating a farm to table area, which is pretty much just like a place where you sit down, you get a lot of the things that have been grown in the farmland, and I'm very inspired by the chandelier on top of it, since we've just now started to get those. I think for me, using a wall space is very important into making an area look very realistic. So looking at these shelves here, stacked with like the little wooden board, and we even have an item just like the scale here for food in Animal Crossing, so that just kind of makes you think about what you might want to place on your counters for all the kitchen sets that we're getting. And the color palette is just very beautiful, so I just feel very inspired by this board. And I think that using Pinterest as a tool for actually recreating the spaces in your house is definitely such a good idea, and it kind of brings your heart into decorating mode versus, oh my god, I need to get at 9,000 items now and, being very overwhelmed by that. I've been feeling my heart racing on multiple occasions these past couple of days, and that is not good. This is supposed to be fun. It's not supposed to be overwhelming. All right, so now that I've shown you all of my secrets, I thought I would make a little Hugo farmcore inspiration mood board. I've seen a lot of people do this on Twitter, and I've actually done something very similar to this a couple of months ago. So I just really like the idea of having that visual mood board, that representation that I could always refer back to and sort of recenter myself into a theme and the aesthetic that I want to go for. Again, you don't have to have one certain theme on your island, and I can't stress that enough. In fact, a lot of people don't even have a theme at all, but I do think that a theme is a really good way to just get your mind in order and make you think about the items that you're using for all of your spaces and for your island, which makes it so much less overwhelming. And just looking at all of those items that are available to us can make us feel like we need all of that in our catalog, and I think that that feeling of agitation is sort of unnecessary, and it almost makes you not as excited to do things. It might actually even do the complete opposite. But that concludes today's video. I really hope that it could help inspire you into your own themes back at home, whether it's fairy core, cottage core, jungle core, whatever core you're going for. Did not mean to rhyme. It really doesn't matter. Having all of these ideas and really recollecting and organizing them can really just make you feel so much more calm and at ease and enjoying the process of all of the new things that we have in the update. I feel like the sky's the limit with all the items that we've been blessed with. So just taking it slow and also knowing that you can continue doing other things after the theme you're doing right now makes it that much more calm and exciting and fun. I hope this video helped you. If it did, give it a little like for me, and also if you'd like to see more from my channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell to be notified for whenever I post a new video or a stream, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!